in Module 5, Bringing It All Together. We'll learn more tips from seasoned peer navigators, including the principles of active listening. Listening is a process and requires observation of behavior. It involves energy. We respond to others within the context of our biographies, values, beliefs, and needs. So, self-awareness is essential. We must want to hear what another person says. We must empathize to the point of putting ourselves in the other person's shoes while remembering that it is impossible to completely understand what they may be going through. We must genuinely accept the other's feelings, and we must trust the other's ability to work through their feelings. We must remember that feelings are transitory and they are certain to change. We should listen without judgment, approval, or disapproval. Let's watch a few more examples from one of the Friend for Life training classes.
I mean, I'm just wondering how the conversation ends.
I think every situation is probably a little bit different. My conversations with them have generally followed the particular stage that they're going through. Are they pre-surgery, post-surgery, pre-chemotherapy, they're in the middle of chemotherapy, things like that. And I try to time my conversations with, that's where the notes in the calendar come in to prove to be very helpful. Try to time my conversations with those kinds of things. I heard it this morning from Barry. In those conversations, I hear things that I can certainly relate to. But again, those conversations are not about me. I think personal pronouns are best left at home in these kinds of situations. And however, if they ask or if they get into something or whatever that I've had a particular experience with, I may work that into it. But again, it's a matter of timing, a matter of style, and it's a matter of reading people a little bit about what they want, what they need.
It's also very helpful to schedule a time that's good for you and good for the person that you're talking to call them, and maybe ask them in advance, can we talk maybe Thursday morning or something like that. That way you are focused on them and their situation and listening to them. So that's real helpful to schedule time like that, just to be organized with your time. Has been very helpful for me.
I did have one particular person who had called me, and we had a nice conversation. She also wanted to meet, now that I think about it, and we did, and that was nice. But she was going through some problems in her family, and so she kind of started wanting to talk to me more so about her family and her stressful situations instead of her cancer.
Remember, you are here to help people discover what they are feeling, not to make feelings go away. To help people identify their options, not to decide for them what they should do. To discuss steps with people, not to take steps for them. You are here to help people discover their own strengths, not to rescue them and leave them still vulnerable. You should help people discover they can help themselves and not take responsibility for them. You will help people learn to choose and make difficult choices. Perhaps most importantly, you are here to listen and to provide support for change, not to work miracles.
Judy and Nicole are always really good about when they call us with the information. They give us a lot of good information, the person's name, date of birth, and a lot of their circumstances. So while I'm getting that call, or by email, whatever, I record that, and keep that information as well, along with any notes that I might make when I've talked to the person. What I do when I'm finished talking with them, I give them my phone number and my address and tell them anytime they have any questions, they just want to call or whatever, I give them my phone number and tell them to call me at any time, that I don't mind at all. So I always, leave the door open to them to let them know that I'm willing to talk to them whenever they need me.
You can always call the office and get solid advice on how to handle things, how to proceed with things.
One of the other things that I've learned to be a little bit cautious about and is to make sure they understand I have no medical knowledge. And I try to cross that bridge up front and make sure they understand I'm not a physician. I have no medical knowledge.
Even people, if they do have a mental diagnosis, they can be someone who's really depressed, and they may seem a lot more needy. When people go through something like cancer, the fears obviously are way up there. And if you're maybe not quite as stable or your supports are not as strong, this is, just like you're going to be affected all over. And definitely if you're maybe a little emotionally more sensitive than the next person, you're going to be more needy.
Thanks so much for watching this brief Peer Navigator training series. Please don't hesitate to contact a Friend for Life staff member at any time for any questions, concerns, or suggestions. Ready to become a Friend for Life Peer Navigator? Take this brief quiz to find out. Finally, we'd like to give special thanks to the Honorable Order of Kentucky Colonels, Barry Cecil, Prosper Media Group, Personal Counseling Service Incorporated, as well as all of our volunteers and participants.